Life had dealt Vinay a tough hand early on. He was only 10 when his father passed away, leaving him and his mother to fend for themselves. Poverty became their unwelcome companion. His mother, a woman of immense strength and resilience, took on the mantle of both parents. She worked tirelessly as a maid, cleaning houses and enduring hardships to make ends meet. Her only dream was to educate Vinay, to see him rise above their circumstances. Vinay excelled in school, fueled by his mother's sacrifices. He studied diligently, knowing that every good grade was a testament to her unwavering love and support. He remembered the countless nights she stayed up late, mending clothes or doing odd jobs just to afford his school fees and books. Her love was his constant motivation. Years passed, and Vinay's hard work paid off. He graduated with honors and went on to become a successful lawyer. Eventually, he achieved his long-cherished dream of becoming a judge. He had a loving wife and 2 beautiful children. Life seemed to have come full circle. However, in the hustle and bustle of his demanding career and family life, Vinay failed to notice a gradual change. He became so engrossed in his own world that he forgot the woman who had sacrificed everything for him. He overlooked his mother's needs, her loneliness, and her silent yearning for his love and attention. Vinay's wife, accustomed to a comfortable life, found his mother's presence an inconvenience. The children too were impatient with their grandmother's old-fashioned ways. The house, once filled with the warmth of shared dreams and struggles, now echoed with unspoken resentments and a chilling indifference towards the woman who had built its foundation. One evening, as Vinay was preparing for an important case, he overheard his wife talking to their daughter. "Don't bother your grandmother with your problems," she said dismissively. "She won't understand." The words struck Vinay like a bolt of lightning. He realized with a pang of guilt that he had become blind to his own mother's pain. Later that night, unable to shake off the feeling of unease, Vinay went to his mother's room. He found her sitting by the window, gazing at the moonlit sky. Her eyes held a deep sadness that he had never noticed before. As he sat down beside her, she reached out and took his hand, her touch as warm and comforting as ever. "Vinay," she said softly, her voice trembling slightly, "I know I am not a burden to you, but I see that I am not able to keep up with your family's ways. Perhaps it's time for me to move to an elderly care home where I can spend my days in peace." Vinay's heart sank. He had never imagined that his mother would ever feel like a burden. Yet he couldn't deny the truth in her words. Blinded by his own guilt and a misplaced sense of duty, he agreed to her suggestion. Arrangements were made, and soon it was time to take her to the care home. As he drove his mother away from the only home she had ever known, Vinay's phone rang. It was his wife, calling to remind him about an important meeting. He answered curtly, his mind preoccupied with a maelstrom of emotions. He couldn't shake off the heavy feeling in his chest, the guilt of abandoning the one person who had loved him unconditionally. Later that evening, unable to bear the weight of his decision, Vinay decided to confide in his old friend Arun. Arun listened patiently as Vinay poured out his heart, narrating his childhood struggles, his mother's sacrifices, and his recent decision to move her to a care home. "Vinay," Arun said gently, placing a hand on his friend's shoulder, "you've achieved so much in life, but you've forgotten the most important lesson your mother taught you, the value of love and gratitude. You've allowed your guilt and the pressures of your life to cloud your judgment." Arun's words hit Vinay like a ton of bricks. He realized the gravity of his mistake. He had allowed societal expectations and his own insecurities to overshadow the immeasurable debt he owed his mother. He had chosen comfort over compassion, convenience over love. Without another word, Vinay picked up his phone and called his wife. He told her everything, about his conversation with Arun, about his realization, and about the immense guilt and regret that was consuming him. To his surprise, his wife's voice softened. She admitted her own shortcomings, her fear of responsibility, and her failure to understand the depth of his mother's love. Together, they decided to bring his mother back home. When Vinay arrived at the care home, his heart ached at the sight of his mother sitting alone in the corner of the room, her eyes filled with a quiet resignation. He knelt before her, tears streaming down his face, and begged for her forgiveness. His mother, her eyes shining with love and understanding, pulled him close. "My dear son," she whispered, "you have nothing to apologize for. I know you love me. Sometimes even the brightest stars need a little nudge to find their way back home." From that day forward, Vinay's family was truly whole again. They showered his mother with love and care, making up for the lost time. Vinay learned a valuable lesson that day, that success measured in material possessions meant nothing compared to the richness of love, gratitude, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child.